You know what I'm saying?
The last conversation you had with them?
It was, yeah.
Recent?
No. No, but it wasn't a good one. So, what's crazy is, okay, so I actually auditioned for the part of Theo. Yeah. And they flew myself, Malcolm, and this other dude named Sugar. You know, he had a Jerry curl. His name was Sugar from Jersey. They flew us all to California, and that was my first time in California, and I'll never forget that. Because Hollywood, I thought was like this thing, you know, like Hollywood was this unicorn, you know. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is the Bronx. Because you get out there, you see all these like homeless teenagers and people who thought they could make it and didn't make it, but they couldn't leave. It's weird. And they like on the sidewalk right next to like a big star's name and shit. You're like, here's $5, man. You know?
Did that like mess you up
Psychologically, you don't. You know, yeah, because and that's the thing I think too with TV, right? You're growing up, you see TV and you get this thing in your head about how people live or what it is, right? This fantasy, and then you see behind the curtain. You're like, oh, okay. So I got at an early age, I started learning a lot of life lessons. So boom, we in California. And we had the auditions, and it was really about like we had like 3 days of auditions, you know, and there was different people auditioning for different roles. For example, Jaleel White, who ended up being Urkel, was actually up for the part of Rudy, between him and because Rudy was supposed to be a boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I remember meeting all of these people back then. You know, Cheryl Lee Ralph was was up for the mom, and Penny from not Good Times, the Jeffersons. It was like a lot of different people was up for these different roles, but it was just the finals, you know. And I'll never forget that day when Bill came out to tell everybody, you know, actually it wasn't Bill, it was one of the assistants, to tell everybody who got the role. I was sitting right next to Malcolm, and I just knew I did a great job, and they was gonna say you, and they looked at me and pointed to him, and I was like,
they picked on the spot.
Right on the spot, dog. Right on the spot. Right with the fucking little watermelon and banana, you know, salad I had going on. I was like, it was like I got punched in the stomach by Floyd Mayweather. Nigga. I was like,
And when you flew out there, you kind of like, were you confident about like? How
nah, not at all. I was just very happy to be a part of the whole thing and excited and hopeful. You know, like. You know, I was not that person at all at the time. And then the lady was like, you know, Mr. Cosby, we want to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And I went in the room and he was like, listen, you know, you don't always get a role because of who you are. Meaning, no, he said, you don't always get a role because of your talent. A lot of the times it's, you know, it's like I'm putting my family together, so it's a lot of different factors. You know, you could be too dark skinned, you could be too light skinned, you could be too short, you could be too tall. He said, but I just want you to know that it had nothing to do with your talent as to why you didn't get this role. And I don't want you to be swayed or disappointed by that because you're very talented. But I do want you to understand the business aspect of this. And so it made a difference that he even took the time to tell me that, you know what I mean? So I took that with me, and it lasted the plane ride. Yeah, because, you know, over the next year when I watched the Cosby Show blow up and I'm sitting in the projects, I'm like, but, you know, because you got to think about it, like, that changes your life.
Yes.
So, but I never forgot those words. You know what I'm saying? I never forgot that he took the time to tell me that. And throughout the next year, as the show blows up, you know, they kept having auditions for different roles, like the boyfriend or whatever, you know, and I would go in each time. It wasn't like because he said, he was like, I'm gonna make sure I bring you back. I thought he was gonna give me the job, you know, or at least teach me like him to be a bartender. But you know, he didn't, you know, I had to come and audition each time, so, you know. And then, you know, they had the auditions for Cockroach, and, you know, I was like, after auditioning for everything else and still not making it, like, and that's the thing about acting, it's like, you gotta have tough skin, you gotta be like an elephant, your skin gotta be resilient, because it's really, you know, you're practicing to be S&M for real. Like, if you can't take it, you know, you gotta get out, because you keep getting told no. Who does that, right? So, I remember the last audition, I was like, yo, if they say no again, I'm never coming in for this show again. Don't call me back. I can't take it.
Right.
And it just so happened to work out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like dope to kind of at least show that side of like how Cosby was kind of behind closed doors with your experience.
Oh, he was so real. He was so real because I even asked him, I was like, what is cockroach? He was like, his son, you know, rest in peace as well. His son had a friend named Bino that was his best friend, but he was like, he had a name. He came up with a name that would be something that people would remember, but also like that lasts. So he took something negative and turned it into something positive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
The last conversation you had with Cosby?
It was, yeah.
Was it recent?
No.
Okay.
No, but it wasn't a good one, so.
It wasn't a good one?
Nah. Nope.
All it is.
Nah, I'm sure you and everybody else is all it is, yeah. No, I mean, you know, listen, I'm going to just tell you like this. The man was many things, you know what I'm saying? As most geniuses and most comedians are, you know, they battle a lot of demons and things like that. And people always ask me, did I ever see, I never saw any of those things that they talked about. So let's just clear that up right now. And I also don't think that you can take away this man's legacy, like what he did in terms of the black community and just in general for a generation. You can't take it away. Whether he's guilty or not, that's between him and God. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But wasn't necessarily a nice man at times. You know what I'm saying?
I heard different things.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of came off.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a nice man.
Can you tell us, were you younger, kind of in that
I was
exchange?
definitely younger. I was like 16 years
I'm
old.
imagining, just from what I've seen, someone that you looked up to kind of manipulative.
All I'm saying is, you know, I learned a lot, and I'm appreciative of all the lessons that I learned. And see, the thing about me is, you know, I take everything and turn it into something positive. So if you're a hater, if you come at me with, you know, if you spew negativeness, if you spew whatever that is, I'm gonna take that. That's just fuel for the fire. You're not gonna tell me what I can't do. You ain't gonna stop me. You ain't gonna be able to. Ain't nothing you can do that's gonna be able to, you know,